got questions to ask, and a fire that won't die, unraveling each task under the sky. Oh, digger 420, curious Canuck, answers on your mind, never getting stuck.
Because, hello, hello, hello. How is everyone today? It is, what is it? Today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday chat. Hello, MJ. How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's 4:00. So I'm here to talk to you. And if you're not here to talk to me, then I will talk to myself. Just a little bit. You're doing good? Good to hear it, MJ. Good to hear it. I'm doing okay, actually, as well. I'll wait until we get a couple more people rolling in here, just in case. But I tell you, I had a really interesting day yesterday. But in the meantime, I'll let you know yesterday as well. First thing, I had the dates for the acupuncture, the traditional Chinese medicine doctor. I had them wrong. I thought it was going to be next Tuesday. It was actually yesterday. So thankfully, they call you 2 hours before your appointment to remind you that you've got it. So I was just on a phone call and hello, how you doing, Get Grades? Good to see you. I recognize you. But yeah, so it ended up being yesterday. I was raced off my feet trying to make sure I got ready. That you should go to ADL time and they should be on your time. What do you mean? They're not streaming today, are they? It's Wednesday. They don't stream till tomorrow. Oh, now you've got me worried. I purposely chose not to stream Thursday nights because I didn't want to miss ADL. But yeah, so I did. I got rushed around, but I got to do it. I got to the doctor of traditional Chinese medicine. She gave me, oh, I see what you mean. ADL is always late. Yes, that's good it's good to see you though, Good Grades. Hi, Christine. Yeah, want to give me just a couple of minutes and then I'll be ready for you and your questions. I could even potentially send you a link. It depends on how good my head is doing. I went to the acupuncturist, MJ. She did the full workup and everything. And I got my first acupuncture treatment. And it was really interesting. And it is in part because of you, MJ. So thank you. Thank you very much. If it's not for you guys, oh, that reminds me. If it's not for you guys buying me a coffee every now and again, I never would have been able to even consider going to an acupuncture appointment. It's so expensive. And it isn't considered a medical treatment by the Canadian health officials anyways. But yeah, I was able to do it because you guys are buying me a coffee here and there. And my next one is next week, the week after next, I think. My days are all muxed up. I'm pretty sure on the 20th I get to go see the pain doctor, and then my shoulders will get back down to normal, which will be nice. I hate it when I'm wearing my shoulders as earrings. But yeah, my guests are always late. I gotcha. Well, today, Wednesdays are just me and you guys. So whatever you guys want to talk about on Wednesdays, that's what we'll talk about. But yeah, we've been going for a few minutes. Was my doctor Oriental? No, she was not. She was a lovely white lady, a little bit older white lady. Well, I guess she's probably about my mom's age, so not, she's older, but not that old, but she was a white lady. She was super sweet. One of the first things she did was do the intake, and she went all top to bottom and asked all her questions. And immediately, she told me I needed to change my diet. And she starts telling me about the things that I have to start adding to the diet. And I said, "Oh, so you mean the Bible diet?" And she said, "The Bible diet? What's that?" So I explained to her briefly what the Bible diet was. And she said, "Well, yeah, that's pretty much what I suggest." Pardon me. She enjoys her dairy, but she eats as little meat as possible. She says on the rare occasion she might have some chicken breast, but otherwise she is the Bible diet, and that's really kind of cool. So now I'm going to have to figure out how I can afford to buy the good stuff. I know a lot of Adventists. The big thing is the putting out the money right off the top to fill my pantry with the stuff that it should be filled with, as opposed to the stuff that it is filled with. So that's going to be the first undertaking, is slowly getting rid of what I've got and replacing it with the good stuff. But it was really interesting. Lots of legumes, vegetables and fruits, and all the stuff he told us that we should be eating if we just read his word and listened to it. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Before she did anything, well, after she asked her questions, the first thing she did was suggest to me something I had planned on doing anyways, following the Bible diet. So there you go. And the acupuncture treatment itself was kind of neat. The rest of the appointment is kind of a bit of a blur, though. Hello, AP, and hello, lady. How you girls and guys doing? Sorry, I almost said both at once. How are you guys doing? I was just explaining that I did my first acupuncture treatment yesterday, but during the intake, she noticed a really interesting thing. She noticed that my left pupil is much larger than my right pupil, and they react differently. Well, not the way they should. You've done the changeover to the healthy eating. Okay, I will definitely DM you. That's awesome. Acupuncture. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Oh, I need all the help I can get, lady. I will definitely have some questions to ask you. But yeah, the acupuncture was kind of cool. But during it, she noticed that my pupils were different sizes, and she was really concerned about that. So we did the treatment and everything, and before she let me go, she told me I had to go to the ER, and she was very, very adamant about that. I wasn't too worried until I got home and I Googled different sized pupils, and that started to worry me some. So I decided maybe I should go to the ER. And that's how I spent all of yesterday and a lot of yesterday evening, was sitting in a Canadian ER, being shuffled back and forth to waiting room to test to waiting room again and back and forth. And it was, it was everything a stay in the ER would be, right? Loads of fun. But they did 2 separate CT scans. They scanned my head, they scanned my neck. The good news is I don't have an aneurysm, and there's no bleeds on my brain, and my neck isn't broken. So they finally, late at night, they allowed me to leave the hospital and go home to bed, which was quite nice. They kind of muxed up. They didn't think they'd need anything but my head scan. So they ended up having to give me the oh shoot, what's that name? They just put it in me twice. They gave me the CT scan juice that makes you burn and tingly. They had to give it to me twice, so that was fun. And then I got to hang out with a bunch of other people who were all in varying states of illness. But it was once I got into the ER, the special waiting room, like they've admitted me, but they don't have enough rooms to put everyone, so they put us in a secondary waiting room. But we were all fairly chipper, and everyone was very nice and friendly. So all in all, it was probably the best ER stay I've ever had. It was really quite nice. But they did all the checks they could. and there's nothing happening internally. So I've now got a specialist appointment with an actual eye doctor. Um, so that's the next step, because apparently the eyesight in my left eye has gone down drastically, which is probably why not only have my headaches been a little bit worse than normal, but that's why I'm having trouble reading, not just for the reading streams, but also I read the Bible every night. That's the last thing I do once I crawl into bed is I read the Bible, and then I put it to bed. And I've been reading less and less of it at night because it's just so hard to look at the light or look at the small letters on the page. It's just so painful. Turns out it's because my left eye isn't working. So who knew? But now I get to go to see the eye doctor and pay them money too and see what's going on with this eye. Because my eyes are the only things that ever worked right in this body of mine. I got the lemon. I got all the worst bits from my mom and dad, so that when my brother was born, he came out with no health issues. He's super tall, gorgeous. We're Norse background, so of course tall, blonde, good looking dude, no health issues. Me not so much. But my eyes were always good. The one was lazy, but they worked perfectly. Yeah, exactly, AP. It can be indicative of neurological issues. With all the damage you have in your brain, your pupils work fine. Well, there you go. See, there's always, the bright side. For me, it was my my eyesight. I've got particularly good eyesight. But hopefully, now that we know that there's something wrong with it, we can fix it, and then I can go back to reading without it hurting. you know. Yeah, AP acupuncture is something you'll be doing. A functional medicine doctor. That's interesting. I've never heard of a functional medicine doctor. Very cool. I'm really excited. I've been told acupuncture is really helpful for a few of my issues, and I just never thought I would be able to afford to do it. Now, not only is she an acupuncturist, but she's a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine. So she takes her perspective of health and medicine is completely different from Western medicine, and they've got a lot of different tricks and treatments, and it's going to be really interesting to delve into some of the different treatments that they have. And it's all because of you guys hanging out in my chat and buying me the occasional coffee. So again, thank you so much. I never would have been able to afford to do this, and it's only because of you guys. So I'll keep you up to date as I have my treatments, and I'll let you know, what happens, whether it seems to help or not. As I said yesterday, I kind of felt floaty, but I was thinking about my eye, and I was thinking about the fact that it was like -1 and there was wind, and I'm standing outside waiting for the bus for 35 minutes. So I couldn't really tell what was from the treatment and what was from the fact that I'm freezing slowly waiting for a bus. But I will keep you guys up to date and informed, and let you know how it goes for me. AP says, I'll take non-functioning pupils over an immune system that's eating my brain and spinal cord. Well, there is that. There is that. And if people want, they can become a member. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Apparently Buy Me a Coffee has got membership things. So I set it up. You can buy me a coffee at $5 a piece, or you can get a membership for $5 a month. What you get with the membership is exactly the same as you get here, paying nothing at all. I don't even know what you would want from me in the terms of specialty things for membership, but you can do that if you'd like, and I very much appreciate you all. Especially MJ was my first membership ever, and yeah, this is. I really don't know what I can offer more than I'm offering now, but if there's something, you just let me know. Bobby's saying, "Oh man, you don't have any goofy glasses." No, I haven't been to the eye doctor yet. The eye doctor is not next week, but the week after, or something like that. Um, Getting in as soon as I can in relation to whether or not I can get a ride. But at that point, I might come out with some goofy glasses. In the meantime, I'm just turned this light off for today. My head hurts, but like I said, it's no more than my head has ever hurt. I've always had headaches. There's always a low grade ouch. So I hadn't noticed any difference. There's a bit of pressure behind my eyes, but again, nothing more than normal. A lot of times I just attribute whatever weird thing is happening to the fibro and just keep on keeping on. That's bit me in the butt a couple times. That's that one infection that lost me my first tooth. That was pretty that was pretty awful. I didn't call the doctor or the dentist or anyone because I thought it was just me clenching my teeth like I do at night. It's just a thing I do. I attribute the teeth clenching to the fibro. And so that's all I thought it was. I had been clenching harder than normal, and so it hurt. Turns out it was a massive, massive infection. The tooth had to be pulled, and then I had to go on daily trips to the hospital for IV treatments for a couple of weeks. That was lots of fun and cost me a lot with cab fare. That was but yeah, so I usually just attribute it to fibro and push on until it's, it is something bad. And that's why I decided, let's go up to the hospital. The lady, the acupuncturist is telling me to do it. The Google's telling me to do it. So let's just do it now before I have an aneurysm or something and I wake up cat food one day, Thank you, MJ. Just keep smiling. I can definitely do that. Bobby's blaming all the cat farts. You never know. The cat box is very close to what I call my bedroom. So you never know. That might be it. And MJ's saying you grind your teeth too. Yeah, it's weird. I don't grind them. I just clench and I just keep tightening and tightening and tightening my jaws. So it's just, yeah. Clindamycin antibiotic for the mouth. Okay, yeah, that's very likely what they were giving me. Yeah, I just know that I blamed the fibro and I left it too long, and it was so bad the hospital was afraid that I had like cancer, bone cancer in my jaw. So thank God that's not it. Thank God that's not a problem. But yeah, I figured better safe than sorry and go in there early. And like I said, they did all the tests and everything they could, and there's nothing's going to blow up and go poof in my brain suddenly. My neck ain't broken. I didn't fall. So yeah, now it's all about the eye. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, now that I know to look for it, I see it and it's really quite obvious. Trying to put some mascara on or something, and I'm looking at them constantly. It's very interesting. I have no idea how long it's been doing that for, because again, like I don't see anyone, and you guys can't really see my pupils from here, right? It's not really a thing that would be noticeable from on camera. So it's really lucky that I had the appointment when I did, or I may have ended up waking up as cat foods. Or your dentist just calls it grinding? Oh, okay. Abscess teeth hurt like hell. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, AP. Very much so. But fibro hurts like hell too. So for me, it was just another pain, and it'll come and it'll go. um, yeah, I didn't really think too much on it, but yeah, what can you do? I'm slowly learning, and thankfully, with the Canadian healthcare system, at the very least, it'll take me hours. I spent, I think, nearly 8 hours in the ER yesterday. But at least they saw me and they ran all the tests and they figured out what it's not. So we've narrowed what it is, and I get to come home and not get hit with a bill in a month's time for an exorbitant amount of money that there's no way I would ever be able to pay off. So I'm very, very thankful for that. SH just got here. You have a bad tooth? No, I got to have a little bit more fun. I went to the acupuncturist and she discovered that my pupils are different sizes. So I ended up spending the day in the ER yesterday, the day and the night in ER. So yeah, the good news is my head and my neck are okay. Everything's in one piece and there's nothing there that shouldn't be there. The bad news is I've drastically lost sight in my left eye. It was very scary to see when they did the cover your eye and do that test. I hadn't realized. I thought my eyes were just tired. I'm squinting all the time. It turns out that's because this can't see shit. It's everything is like foggy and not blurry but foggy, and I just can't see it. So that's why I've been having trouble with the reading too. And hopefully once we fix the eyeball, I'll be good to go with the reading. When you get a migraine, your pupils get real small. I think mine do too. I honestly, when I get a really bad migraine, I've got sunglasses and a pillow over my head. I need to hide in the darkest, quietest space I can possibly find. Gonna make sure I couldn't see your pupils if we were nose to nose. Well, there you go, AP. Yeah, the acupuncturist, she kind of scared me a bit, but I was, not overly worried until I got home and Googled it. And then then I realized why she was concerned and that I should probably think about going to the ER. Bobby's saying you can see each other's pupils if you were to go ass to ass. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how that works. And it's probably right over my head, but so be it. MJ saying hi to everyone, and everyone's saying hi back. SH, yeah, good thing she noticed and said something. Exactly. Because I had no idea. I don't see anyone. So no one would be able to see it and point it out except for her. Any black and white dots? No, I do have floaties. But I've always had floaties, so well, not always. I've had floaties since I did a decade or more of hard drugs. That's when the floaties started showing up. They've faded quite a bit. I've been sober for 13 years next month. So they're not near as bad, but yeah, I still have the occasional floaty. But no black and white spots. It's not like the TV fuzz. Did they check my heart? No, they didn't. They did do the, checking through, do you have numbness of the this or the that, and all that stuff. My heart feels fine. There hasn't been any palpitations or stops, nothing like that. I do have numbness, but I have numbness in both arms, and I've had that all my life because of the fibro. So it's not numbness up here. It's just my thumb and right in here that goes numb. Sometimes when it gets really bad, it'll come up to my funny bone, which is not fun, but it's definitely not heart attack numbness. So, okay, you're going to go study now. Well, thank you so much for showing up and hanging out for a bit. It was really nice to see you, Jeff. Or is it have? It's probably have, isn't it? SH is saying I've had floaters since forever too. Yeah, that's just yeah. To me, that's no big deal. But I had no idea that my pupils were doing this, and I had no idea that my eyesight had gone. You know, I just thought I had tired eyes or something. Or I'm aging. I'm 45 now, so you're getting into the time when things start to break down a bit, right? So I just figured it was aging. I had no idea that I was losing vision in my one eye. And it was it was kind of scary doing the vision test for the people in the hospital. It was really crazy to see. I had no idea I had no idea it had gone at all, let alone how bad it was. Hello, Desari. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here in Rumble. Yeah, we're just hanging out and chatting. This is me talking. Oh, it's Tammy. Hello, Tammy, dear. How you doing? I am loving your music. Oh, I wonder if I can do this now. Let's see. I am going to star that so I don't get lost. And then I did minimize this. And if the camera goes herky-jerky all of a sudden, just ignore it. We'll get there. And Tammy. There. Because punching it in will be easier than trying to search my favorites. But here we go. Copy. And oh, I can do that from here so I can minimize. Here we go. If you guys enjoy music, this is Tammy's channel. Oops. Oh, on YouTube. There we go. If you guys like music, please go check out Tammy's channel. She's doing lots of really good stuff. If you guys know Vices at all, she's got a couple of she's got some really good songs. There's one that is so like hardcore thumpa thumpa. I had to immediately put it onto my my cleaning / workout playlist, as well as on my YouTube playlist, so that I can just throw it up whenever. I love it, and it's a Vice's song. It's a song about the Vice Squad, so I am thoroughly enjoying it. And she's got a bunch of other tunes as well that are really quite entertaining, quite fun, and very interesting. It's not all the same genre, so you never know what you're going to get next. It's quite cool. Definitely get my eyes dilated and see what's going on with my retinas. That's exactly it. That's the next step. So, and oh, you're talking about, oh, I saw it, but then I didn't read it. So MJ said, go see the doctor so they can look deep in your eyes and tell you have other problems you might have. Maybe we should pray about my next appointment. Okay, let me because AP has also got the visual snow syndrome. It's black and white dots that pulse. I just have the black and white dots, no pulsing. Oh, okay. So it threw the doctors off trying to figure it out. I gotcha. And then definitely get your eyes dilated and see what's going on in your retinas. That's SH. Okay, so that's what you meant. See, I read ahead, and I didn't know what you meant by this intermittent what, but the black and white spots. Okay, that's interesting. And Bobby says it's going herky jerky. Pardon me. Yes, I'm not I'm not ignoring it. I'm paying notice to it. Oh, good. Good, Bobby. You using all the old-timey language lately. Someone else has pulled out the old-timey language too. I can't remember who, but between you now, I'm using it. We've got to pull off the old gems, dust them off, and throw them out for the world again. It's like the joke that if we ever want to take out um, the millennials and youngers, all we have to do is start a war using snail mail and cursive writing. We can also do that by pulling out the old-timey words and wording, and they'll have no idea what we're actually saying. Okay, so there we go. And I dropped her link, and then Bobby did too, because he's such a good mod. Thanks, Bobby. Then I'm going to start here. All right, MJ, we've got a few people in here who do have health issues. So instead of just praying that they'll find out what's wrong with me, we could do a quick one for everyone in here, right? I mean, it's oh, sorry, hun. Scare the cat. It's the world we're in. I think we're all sick of something, or there's something. So no, this is not going to become my thing, like toasts were Vice or Ricada's thing. But yeah, I can definitely get down with that. So dear Lord, we're having a good time hanging out here, and we're discussing different health issues. I'd ask that you look over everyone in this chat group, anyone who may listen later. Take care of them. Help them to know what is ailing them, and help them to repair it, or at least alleviate some of its worst effects. I thank you so much, and I pray in Jesus' name, amen. So there you go. I liked that idea. Thank you so much. And like AP, it's got health issues. We've all got health issues. So yeah, thank you. That was a good plan. And now back to the starred one, so I don't get lost. Oh, and then you guys start reading again, and it all moves on me. I have retinal tufts, so it will tug at times and cause fireflies in the peripheral vision. Interesting. I've never heard of retinal tufts. That's really cool. So it's just kind of like gathering sort of thing. That's interesting. I had no idea. Everything's just getting foggy, kind of cloudy. I thought I was getting old. So, yay, I'm not getting old yet. I'm just breaking down anyway. So, AP says it's because I have about 80 lesions in my occipital lobe and on my optic nerves. Yeah, that's what MS does, eh? I'm slowly learning about it. I honestly, I thought in a lot of ways it was going to be a similar thing to fibro, because they're both neurological. I had no idea. I was a little bit uninformed about the whole thing. So I am slowly getting informed. I had no idea just how much it would affect the brain and the spine. My brother's spine is where they found it. He's just been diagnosed recently. Well, year, something like that. But anyways, yeah. So I'm really learning about it now. And then of course we've got Johnny as well. So there's 3 of you in my life suddenly, and I've got to learn about what's going on with you, because I didn't actually understand it. Mr. Q, good to see you. I can actually, that's really cool. I couldn't tell what your avatar was before, but it's a little bit bigger here in the StreamYard. It's a cute looking kitty cat. That's what that is. We're doing pretty good. Thank you so much for asking, Mr. Q. AP says, I'm a millennial. I understand old-timey speak and can read and write in cursive just fine. You know how to address a letter without issue. Okay, fair enough. So it's the younger ones. My little brother he considers himself Gen X, as do I. But according to certain breakdowns, he's a millennial too. Um, I think the better measure isn't a year, but did you grow up with participation awards or not? When everyone wins, when everyone's getting a participation award, and when sports were all super safetied, and kids have to go out looking like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and the kids start whining because they've got like a sliver or something. Those are millennials, in my opinion. The kids who didn't have participation awards, the kids who were told to go out and play and not come back till the streetlights were on, the kids who spent all day every day outside because there was nothing to do inside because the internet wasn't there. Those are actually Gen X, in my opinion. So, outside and can take a hit and keep on ticking. Gen X. Millennials, participation awards, babies, and everything. Every feeling counts. So that's how I break it down. I'll probably get in trouble for that too, but hey. Hello, Stingy. How you doing? Why am I suddenly smelling smoke and getting hot? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Stingy. I've stopped praying now. But hey, you're included too. So if you've got any ailments or anything, hopefully he can help you get a little bit more of a handle on it too. So we won't get too into the Bible, but you've got right up into your last breath to repent and try to go forth and sin no more. I say try because none of us can go forth and sin no more. That's an impossible ask, in my opinion. But we can try, and that's what he's looking for. So I have faith that someday you and I may meet up in heaven, and I'll go say, there you are, I told you so. AP says, MS eats you like it eats your CNS. Are you talking about, I don't know what that is, CNS. Probably just having a brain fart. But it eats it like it's candy. Are you talking like the brain stem and spine? That's the word I was looking for. But yeah, apparently I didn't know lesions were like a thing, an issue. I thought it was more of a signals misfiring thing. So yeah, I'm learning bit by bit. As the H is saying, it's extra adhesions to the retina. It was offered laser to build up scar tissue to strengthen the adhesions so they are less likely to tear. I chose not to, and it's been okay. Well, okay, that's interesting. See, all this neat stuff I'd never even heard about. And SH is telling AP, then he can cross to our side. There you go. Because, yeah, I'm having a feeling that you, in my definition of Gen X versus millennial, I think you fit in Gen X. I wouldn't consider you a millennial. So Mr. Q is saying this kitty cat is a picture of Princess Yingy Yangy, award winner, best in show and most talkative cat in 2018. Right on. Very cool. She's adorable. I love those tuxedo black and whites. And most talkative cat. I don't know. You should have heard my Maine Coon. He sounded like Beaker from the Muppets. You know, the me. It was awesome. This big, huge 26-pound cat full of fur. But he had the highest pitched, tiniest little singy song voice. AP says it'll move into his brain if he doesn't get it stopped, but the damage will catch up to him. Hopefully it never happens to him and he can fix his diet to reverse the progression. Yeah, another thing I'm learning is that there's many different types of MS. And I honestly, I do not know what kind of MS he has. We don't talk often at all. My family is very good at only talking on the holidays and never talking about anything serious. So the last time I talked to him, he was about to go in and get the results of the tests and see what exactly he's got, what kind he's got, and then treatment from there. But then we haven't talked except at Christmas, and you don't bring up bad stuff on the Christmas phone calls. You don't bring the bad stuff up at ever in my family. We just pretend it never happened. Compartmentalization is a grand thing in my family. So yeah, I probably should reach out to him and ask. But if you don't ask, then you don't know, and then you don't have to worry. That's kind of how my family works. Either that, or else if you don't mention it, you don't have to get into why you disagree, and you don't have to deal with those emotions. You just pretend it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. Like the thing. I'm the only one who didn't get the thing in my entire extended family. But we don't talk about the thing anymore because we've got differing opinions. And before we allowed it to get to the point where we weren't talking to each other ever again, we just did what we do in my family, and we boxed it up and we tied it up really tight. We threw it in the back, and we're just going to pretend like it never happened. Never going to happen again. It's just not mentioned. May not be the healthiest way, but it works. At least for us. Bobby says we did that too, and we had the internet. I don't know. You were a participation award kid, weren't you? I'll bet you were a participation award kid. One of those, we're going to play on baseball teams, but no one's going to keep score because everyone counts. SH is saying, I didn't used to be class Gen X. That was my sister and older. Then one day the category had shifted, and now I am. Oh, interesting. I have always considered myself Gen X and proud of it. I was born in the last year of the coolest decade. I graduated in 97, which was the best time to be a teenager in the 90s. Best time ever. I was a kid in the 80s. I was a child of the 80s, a teen of the 90s. And then I got to go and have a blast as a brand new adult in the new millennium when the whole world didn't blow up and just stop. I had a really great time of it. But yeah, I was always considered Gen X. Like I said, we always considered my brother, who was born in 81, we considered him Gen X as well. We came up together. We were latchkey kids. We had to do everything for ourselves because our parents had to work all the time to make sure that, the house stayed where the house was and we were in it, and, no hungry bellies, that sort of thing. So we got raised by 80s and 90s TV, and that's what built our moral standing. So thankfully the TV shows were what they were back in the 80s and 90s. Gen X likes to pretend they were the only generation to play outside. It's weird. No. We're not the only generation to play outside. We were the last generation to play outside in the way we did. Even you weren't even allowed to stay inside and watch TV. Like ignoring that we didn't have internet. You weren't even allowed to stay inside and watch TV in the middle of summer. As soon as, at least in my household, 9 a.m., you could not make a phone call before 9 a.m. But if you weren't out of the house by 9:15, you were going to get in trouble. And then we were not to come home until the sun was setting, unless of an emergency. Otherwise, we had to take care of ourselves. MJ, basketball, no blood, no foul. Exactly. We played hard. My friends and I, we would have stick wars in the forest. We'd split up and separate throughout the overgrown, old growth forest. And we'd throw sticks at each other, but it wouldn't just, I mean, we called it stick war, but it's not just twigs or sticks or branches. They like logs, anything large, rotting pieces of tree, chucking them at each other. No rocks. That wasn't cool. But the size, how close you were to the person when you were throwing it, none of that stuff mattered. And I'm old enough that one of my buddies was in the AV group at school. So he signed out one of those old school video cameras that you wear on your shoulder with the VHS tape. He he signed one of those out, and he recorded one of our stick wars, and he just so happened to catch a buddy of mine jumping up just in time to catch full in the face a log. It was probably about, yeah, where's the camera? About that big around and got to be like this long. Another buddy had launched it, and Steiner just happened to stand up just at the wrong moment, took it full in the face, and it was all caught on video. And that video, that VHS tape, still exists somewhere on the coast, but it does exist. He also took that camera and recorded one of our journeys. That's what we called all of our acid trips. Drop acid and just start wandering, journeying to wherever we ended up. And he recorded all of it on that signed out VHS recorder. So I would love to see that video again. That would be a fun trip down memory lane. Mr. Q saying hi to everyone in chat. AP says, my curfew was the streetlights. Never had a participation trophy. If you lost, you lost. Tough shit. Gen X. That's you, Gen X. And meanwhile, Bobby's coming in. And I'm using software that's older than you. Yeah, well, you're still a millennial. And you definitely got a participation trophy. With a comment like that, you most definitely got participation trophies. You young and you. Stingy saying, I remember having to check in every few hours at home too. Calling from a friend's house or getting my ass home by a set time. Yeah. I've been told of a trick that I never knew about. And I wish I had known, because I spent an awful lot of quarters on payphones. But older, wiser Gen X kids than I would actually call home call home collect. So for you youngins who never used a payphone, you'd pick up the phone, you'd put your quarter in, and then punch your number and use the phone. Or if you didn't have any money, you hit 0 and you get the operator to connect you with the phone number you're trying to call, but it's a collect call. So the charge for the phone call is going to be charged to the person you're calling. But how that works is they say, I have a collect phone call from, and you say your name, and then you wait to see if they accept the charges. But apparently some really smart Gen X kids were doing will you accept a collect call from, and they'd hop in with, Mom, I'm at so-and-so's place and I'm here until this time, and can you pick me up, and blah, blah, blah. And before the operator had a chance to hang up. And I think that's bloody brilliant. I never thought of it. Could have saved myself a fortune in quarters calling for a ride. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Central nervous system. See, I knew it's something I should know, and it just wasn't there. Central nervous system. Thank you, AP. He says it is because the myelin sheathing around the nerves is being eaten by the immune system. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really interesting thing. When I first heard that, I thought, well, shit, my brother and I did so much acid. It's maybe not surprising that he's got lesions on this spine. But I know it's a different kind of. Bobby. We know a guy who has the type of MS that makes him face plant into doors. Yeah. AP, we told you about Saturday, right? I'm certain we did. We were talking about the Saturday streams. Johnny streams on Saturdays. He does a couple hours gaming. You can join him in the game and play with him if you desire. It's loads of fun. He's got MS as well. His legs don't work, basically. He still gets around on crutches for the most part, but he occasionally does things, silly things, like try to go down a set of stairs with stuff in his hand. And his legs decide to say, well, that was a silly idea. How about if we show you why that was a silly idea? And his feet decide not to work at the bottom step. So instead, he kind of face plants into whatever is around him. Although he was quite happy with the fact that he said he's gotten very good at not dropping the stuff he's carrying when he falls. So I guess that's the the silver lining. It's like the drunk dude who falls, but he saves the beer, right? His legs may not work and he may fall and hit his head and hurt himself really badly, but he doesn't spill what he's carrying. So there you go. Mr. Q saying, don't Magic Johnson anyone. That was only 10 minutes ago. I don't know what you're talking about. That went right over my head, hon. SH is saying, yep, when the street lights came on, it was time to get in the house. Yep, exactly. AP says, always starts with relapse remitting, then moves into primary progressive, then secondary. It can be caught at any point, though. If it's secondary, it's terminal. You just don't know when you'll go out. That's Johnny. That's Johnny. And apparently, because of the way the American medical system works, they found out what it was, but because they found out what it was, he couldn't get health insurance, so he couldn't afford to treat it. And then he ended up just dealing with it until he ended up in hospital, at which point I guess he was able to get some help with disability or something, but not all of the help. And as soon as he got well enough to be able to get a job again, they'd take that help away. So yeah, it sounds like they just played, basically they did to him with the medical treatments he needed the way Lucy does with the football for Charlie Brown. Get him just good enough and they go, oh, no, you're too healthy now, you can't have it. And then he'd fall and then, okay, we'll treat it a little bit, but no, you can work again. So no, you don't get it anymore. And apparently that's what's happened with him. So now so any which way, his legs don't work. And it really sucks. It sucks for him. And he falls. SH is agreeing with Stingy. In the summer, when you're gone all day, I had to call and say where I would be. And if I was going somewhere else, I had to call and get permission. Yep, fair enough. Yeah. And which is when that's the point at which I wish I had known the calling collect trick, because I remember leaving the house with quarters in my pocket specifically so that I could keep mom up to date with where I was going to be. I spent a lot of my hard-earned allowance on phone calls home. Okay? And I really wish that I had known that trick. Bobby saying, no, I earned my black belt. Y'all Gen Xers are just up yourselves about nonsensical non-achievements. Non-achievements? No, we earned those wins. We actually earned those wins. And by damn, we earned the losses too. Look at look at us. We didn't even try. That's not true, Bobby. We did try. That's what I'm saying. We did try. We had to try. And if we didn't try, we lost. And we learned what it felt like to be losers. It was the participation awards kids. Those are the ones that are, we didn't even have to try, but look, I got an award for nothing. I'm so special. I get an award for nothing. That's the millennials, bud. That's you guys. AB says 1981 to 96. I am is a millennial. Boy, my mouth didn't want to work there. I'm an 85 baby. Yeah, see, but it depends on whose breakdown you look at. But no matter whose breakdown you look at, 81 is apparently now a millennial, but it really doesn't feel like it to me because he's the exact same as me. We came up together and we came up in the same world together. He never got a participation award. He won or lost the same as I did. You know, we had to make an effort. We didn't get patted on the head for doing nothing and told how wonderful we are. We grew up with the old adage, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Millennials grew up thinking that names are the worst thing ever. And if you hurt my fifis, then I get to do whatever I want to you. And it's fair. SH says, I don't remember a lot of my childhood, but I'm the same age. Yeah, I don't really remember a whole lot of it, but honestly, I can the way I look back and remember my childhood is by what TV shows I was watching. That's how I remember where I'm at. Oh, Mr. Q, you still have my I Survived Y2K. That's awesome. That's awesome. I was, how old was I? I was 19, so I was just legally allowed to drink in my country. For 99, I was graduated. I was doing heavy drugs, still dropping acid occasionally, although MDMA had come in to the scene by that time. So me and 12 other friends, we all met up at the ferry terminal in Horseshoe Bay. We hopped on a ferry and then we hopped off of that one onto a secondary ferry. And we got off on this teeny tiny little island where my friend had moved with her parents who had just retired to that island. And we proceeded to party like the world was going to end for like 4 days, 5 nights and 4 days. And when we finally came up for air, realized the world didn't end, we had to then take our sick, hungover selves on 2 ferry rides back to the mainland so that we could go back to the world. That was a really awful, awful trip back to the mainland. But the 5 nights and 4 days partying on the island is so worth it. So very, very worth the hangover on the ferry. Ooh, look at us. We were the product of television. No, Digger. We millennials did the exact same thing. We just had cooler stuff like PlayStations. No, no. Stuff like PlayStations and internet. That's the things that make you a millennial. We didn't have that stuff, or at least, my dad got the first PC in our family home only because the company he worked for bought an IBM PC for every employee it had. It was huge, huge company, and it bought a PC for every single person they employed. But we were like one of the few with a computer for a very, very long time. We had nothing to do but TV or outside. We still used our imaginations. I know that last imagination line, that's going to get me another comment, isn't it, Bobby? Lady saying, my sister is from 1981 and I call her a geriatric millennial. I like that. I like that a lot. AP says, my millennial group of friends is absolutely ruthless with picking on people. Yeah, we said the worst, the darkest, the meanest stuff to each other and laughed it off. It was like, it was the one-up insult game. And we laughed so hard and we said the cruelest things. But it didn't really matter. Because, we knew that we didn't mean it. We could say all the worst words and call each other all the worst names without having to censor those names. And it didn't matter because we all knew we were joking and there was no actual power to any of the words. And somewhere the millennials decided there was power in the words. And after that, it just got worse. Mr. Q grew up farming. He was working part-time by 7, full-time, and school by 10 years old. Well, there you go. Yeah, I didn't grow up farming. We moved to the coast the summer after my grade 3 year. So I grew up in suburbia, kind of. We were right on the edge of Burke Mountain. We were right on its feet. So literally the town ended and the old growth forest began and the mountain was right there. Crystal Falls was up there if you knew the right path to take. So I grew up outdoors. I grew up camping and you know, hiking and cliff climbing and jumping. And I did all of that fun stuff because that's what we had. We had the outdoors. Bobby's saying, yeah, that's cute. We used to swing wire trimmers at each other. I've got scars. You're hell bent on one-upping me on this, aren't you? I have SH is saying, I feel there's more similarities with the 78 to 84 than the 70 and 78. I'm assuming you're talking about the wire cutting. We had sticks. We did have sticks and logs and rotting tree trunks. We did have sticks and it was fun. There you go. See, AP knows what's what. We had BB gun fights and rock tag. That was his earliest childhood outdoors. No face hits was the only rule. When we played hacky sack, we played wallables or smackables if there wasn't a wall close enough by. So if you dropped it, you didn't just, you know, drop it, but you had to line up and stand in front of the wall and with your hands behind your back, and you had to take it as each one in the hacky sack circle got one turn, taking that hacky sack and flinging it at you as hard as they possibly could. That was wallables. And then if they didn't have a wall nearby, we would, you know, hit each other. We get one good hit so that we knew we would land it. So we were tough. Damn it. That's right, lady. That's exactly right. We had lawn darts. Have you ever played lawn darts? Hey, Bobby, ever played with lawn darts? I don't think so. Those things were like outlawed because they were so damn dangerous. He says, I'm from friggin' 1990. We did the same crap, if not worse. Okay. Well, we'll have to agree to disagree. I think we were the more hardcore kids. I think you guys were already softening up, but you weren't as soft as, you know, Gen X or sorry. you, oh man, you're going to clip that, aren't you? You guys, millennials, were getting softer, but you're not as soft as Gen Z or, God forbid, Gen Alpha. They can't handle anything. At least you guys still had some tough. Now chicks with sticks means something else entirely. Thank you, Mr. Q. And he was born, and you were born in 78? Right on, 79. We got it good. We had the perfect time frame to grow up in, I think. No, in my opinion. Sage is telling lady, we got some lawn darts at a yard sale, but my dad had already taught me to play with the long screwdriver. See? That's it too. And we used to chuck horseshoes, whether we had a, you know, a pin to try and chuck them at or not, you know. We could always use anything or potentially anyone as as the stake you're supposed to catch it on. Bobby's saying, how does this mean I got a participation trophy? It means I'm using shit older than you, and you're talking about old tech like we don't know how the damn mail works. Well, again, you're softening. Millennials know some of our tricks. You do. You know some of our tricks. But I bet you Yeah. I bet you we really could win a war using just snail mail and cursive if we needed to. Not necessarily with all the millennials, but definitely with the Gen Zs and the youngers. There you go. See, Mr. Q knew it. Call home, collect, and say, pick me up, and then hang up. Exactly. I did not know that trick. I wish I had known that trick, but I didn't. Bobby, you take that back. The boomers were not right. The boomers were never right. They're the ones that started us down this road of this whole mess thing. I blame them anyways. Mr. Q, I used to ask the operator what time it was. Yeah, I'd call the operator to find out what time it was. Yeah, I did that fairly regularly. I just didn't connect the dots and think, call collect. Exactly. Call collect, tell your parents where you were in the message for your name, and then hang up. Have to accept the call to be charged. Exactly. You did it hundreds of times. See, I did not. I was not that intelligent. I carried quarters with me everywhere I went. Lady, you knew it too. Oh my gosh, I was so thick. I was such a naive and innocent child. Collect, call, yell, whatever you're supposed to say, and then hang up. And here's Bobby. Bobby, the boomers. I walked to and from school, up and down hills, both ways in the snow. Gen X. We drank dirty water from a hose. Millennials. We watched free porn. Actually, do you remember? I don't know. Maybe you're too young, Bobby. Who remembers the Soft Shoe Diaries or the Red Shoe Diaries? Sorry, the soft porn programming of Showtime, the channel. Any of you guys remember that? My brother used to record them. It's the closest to porn he could get to. He also used to abscond with Mom's Victoria's Secret magazines. That was pre-internet, Bobby. That's what you boys had to do pre-internet. You had to use the Sears catalog. We had it tough, damn it. Hello, Bishop. How you doing? Saying, I got in so much trouble for phone freaking way before Captain Crunch. My grandfather was an AT&T lineman, taught me the tricks. I've heard, I've heard there was some really good tricks back in the day. There was actually a book written. Um, I don't know. I guess they were like beatniks or hippies or something, but there was a book written on different ways you can scam the system, and there was a few different tricks with the AT&T with the phone payphones. So you're very lucky that you had a man in the know to teach you all of that. Hello, Linda. How you doing? We'd call collect and mom would say no and have dad pick us up at a prearranged place. Ah, there you go. That works too. EP, and if I fall, I'm not getting back up without help now. Yeah, fair enough. No problem. I'm enjoying it too, lady. She's saying, thanks for taking me down memory lane, y'all. SH, did y'all have dial a story? It was just like calling the number for the time, but they had kids' stories playing on a loop. You could call and listen in. You usually got the middle of the story. I don't remember that. I wonder if Canada had a thing like that. I remember all the different codes that you could dial for, your daily horoscope, or the one that you would dial to see what movies were playing, what theaters, and that sort of thing. But no, I don't remember kids' stories. That sounds kind of cool, actually. AP saying, I did that last year, fell off the porch onto the concrete driveway. So much fun. Yeah, yeah. I can't imagine. My body hurts, but at least it does what I tell it to do when I tell it to do it, you know. It hurts like a bitch as it does it, but it does listen. What kind of acid are we doing? Those were the days. Yes, yes, they were. When I graduated high school, um, my friends and I, not all of them were in the same grade. There was a few that were in younger grades, but when we graduated, we all moved out into the bush and we literally lived on acid in the bush for 2 months. We spent the whole summer there. I would actually hike out from the bush. It was about an hour from where we camped on islands. There was 3 islands in the middle of the Coquitlam River. And I would hike from there about an hour out to my friend's house where I would drop off my dirty uniform and pick up my clean uniform, which I would then hike another hour into town with so that I could get changed and do my full work shift at Wendy's and then turn around and do it all in reverse. Hike back 2 hours into the bush to the islands where we were living and then drop more acid. There was one time my girlfriend was waiting for me to get off of work. We were going to drop acid. We knew we were going to drop acid. So I thought, she was getting antsy. So on my last break, I'm like, okay, tell you what, half an hour before I'm off, we can both drop. And that way it'll just be kicking in when I punch out and we'll be, tripping as we go out the door. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful. Nothing can go wrong. So I dropped acid and then people called in sick. And the next thing I know, I stayed an extra hour just doing the dishes and I was tripping so hard. By the time they let me leave, it was ridiculous. Oh, it was so much fun. That was a particularly good trip, that one. Now I noticed that the rumble is moving, so I will catch up. Hello. Hey Dom, how you doing? At Digger, get those rumble blocks. Thank you so much for the rumble rant. Oh, and now I've got it. You're actually writing stuff where I have to read it, so I have to make it wide enough that I can see it all. There we go. You had an imagination to play with. My brothers and I only had sticks and rocks to play with. And hello, Wild. How you doing? Good to see ya. Yes. It's no Santa twerking, but Trump flossing is pretty good too. That's a pretty good second. I love it. So if you're just getting in, Wild, the interesting thing that I discovered yesterday is I went to the acupuncturist, and during the intake eval, she found out, or she asked me if I knew that my pupils were different sizes, and I said no. And she got concerned, and she sent me to the ER. So I spent like almost 8 hours in the ER yesterday, going back and forth and getting contrast dye twice for 2 different CT scans, and all sorts of good times were had yesterday. But all in all, it was probably the best ER visit I've ever had. It was long AF, but there was a few of us that were in there at the same time. So we were kind of, bonding, as you do with other people who are also miserable and sick or in pain. And you've got nothing else to do. You bond over your shared traumas. So yeah, found out the good news. I don't have, there's no aneurysms, which is a thing in my family, and no brain bleeds, and my neck is not broken. It's all one piece. I'm not going to lose my head. So it's an eye problem. My left eye, the sight in my left eye has degraded hugely without my being aware. I just thought, I thought I was getting old. Yeah, I'm not dying, which is the good thing. Exactly. Okay, Mr. Q's helping me out. You have to be unemployed for at least 3 months before you can apply for medical assistance. Otherwise, they expect your employer to pay for it, or you do. Okay. And ladies come in and wait, who's doing acid? We all were doing acid, it sounds like. We were all doing acid together in separate places. Oh, it looks like I'm getting a little chunky. We'll close that again. Okay, that works. We just got to close it a bit. My PC likes the chat, will allow my Rumble chat to be popped out so I can read it. Just won't allow it to be a certain width, apparently. Oh no. My PC started breathing really heavy. Bobby's saying, I blame boomers for our medical system. They hate giving money to Americans. We all got to work for it. Everybody else, though, ha, no, you get all the monies. Well, we don't get all the monies. We give the monies away, too. We don't get any of the monies. We do have a socialist healthcare system, which, say, going back to like 70s, 80s, even the 90s to a certain extent, it worked rather well, but it started getting polluted with the communism thought process in the early 90s. And where we're at now, it's just a big hot mess. It really doesn't work at all. And the province that I live in, BC, it pays their doctors the lowest amount of money nationally. So anyone who becomes a doctor in BC moves away from BC to any other province. They can make way more money than they can being a doctor in BC. So we always have a shortage of them. And the doctors that we do have, it's a 50-50 whether they're going to be actual doctors who care and it's really getting mad with me now. Yeah, it's 50-50 on whether we're going to get doctors who give a shit about trying to help us or if they just want to, push those pills and prescriptions so that they can get their payouts. That's kind of how it is here. And wow, I'm really getting choppy. I do not know why that's happening. And the thing has stopped breathing heavy too. How strange. I can't even really close anything else. Everything else is rather important. Let's see. Yeah, I can't close those ones. Oh, I can close that bit though. There, one less thing running. Is that any better? Not really, but okay. I'm just gonna go with it. You let me know if the sound gets all fucky too. There we go. Okay, there's your comment. I can take that off the screen. And Linda's telling Bobby, I did walk uphill to and from school. To be fair, my mom did too. And she grew up in the Caribou, which is an area of BC. It's deathly cold and kind of, I don't know. It always feels barren to me. Think of the terrain on Bonanza, very arid and dry and yeah. So when it snowed, it really did snow as tall as her, and they'd have to walk to and from school on the fence posts because it was easier to walk on the fence posts than it was to break a trail. So, and I only believe her in that story because she's got friends who went to school with her, and they all did the same thing. They grew up together. So I have to believe them. What is it the Bible says? You need 2 or more witnesses to prove a thing. So I had her friend and her friend's younger brother, and they all agreed. So now I've scrolled too far. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm clicking. Bobby, I did walk uphill to and from school. It really did happen, Bobby. It did happen. It's not just a story. I had to believe it. AP says, yeah, he's at the diet change point, aggressive diet change. I'm there too, but mine was stopped in the RRMS level. Now the damage is catching up to me. Okay. So you were able to hit a pause button in time. And now you've just got to deal with the damage as is. Gotcha. Oh, Bobby. No. You Gen Xers are like, we knew everything was screwed, so we did nothing. Well, yeah, because we did. It was our parents and our parents' parents who were in charge of shit. It was fucked. We had no power. We had no control. All we could do was rage against the machine with Rage Against the Machine until they sold out, you know? It was really rather disappointing. And the whole flu that shall not be named in the treatment that we never wanted, but were forced to take, some of us, not me. Thank you. Anyway, that wonderful time period in our recent history showed me just how many of my heroes were actually sellouts and you know just as bad as the elite we were all so angry at. We couldn't do anything. We had no power. It was all fucked up and we could do nothing to fix it. It's not that we did nothing and we could do nothing. There was nothing we could do. It's changing now because we Gen Xers are all of an age where we can potentially make change. We can do something now. It's a matter of if we will do something or not. But that's a whole nother topic. At the time, there was nothing we could do. So fuck it. We were the apathetic generation. There's nothing we can do. We're going to hell in a handbasket. So we might as well just enjoy the time we've got. And so we did. But then we all lived through past 30, and we started getting older, and it's like, well, shit. Now what? I never expected to live past 30. I was aiming to be a part of the 27 club, to be truthful. I thought it would be the coolest thing on earth to be a part of the 27 club. And I could go party with all the rock stars. I had no intentions of getting this old. I hit 40 and I was like, wait, what? That was never supposed to happen. I never even contemplated reaching that age. But we all did, or most of us did. And now we are old enough that we actually can do something. So it's a matter of whether we're going to do something or not. But it is up to us to figure this shit out. Because if we leave it to the rest of you guys, then we're definitely hooped. Because we did not set up you guys for any sort of success. SH is saying, that's so frustrating. Military insurance did that for a family friend. She'd have a crisis, get hospitalized. Once she was stable, she'd get discharged with no real follow-up until the next crisis. Well, it sounds like that's kind of what happened to him, too. So he didn't get the treatment that would have slowed down progression or even stopped it. He didn't get those treatments when he should have, when he needed them. They waited until he was so sick that those treatments wouldn't work anymore. And, now he's playing with what he's got. So, yeah, it's an awful, awful story. And it happens quite a bit. It's pretty sad. See, here now, they make us wait so long to see the whatever specialist that you need. And everything needs a specialist. You've got a cough and cold, you go to see the specialist. It's not it's not just going into the doctor and saying, this is wrong and can you please fix it? And okay, and fix it. Now you've got to see the specialist, and the specialist takes 8 months to a year, sometimes even longer to see, by which time whatever you're going to see the specialist for has either gone away, worsened, or killed you. All of which means that you're not going to need the specialist that you're waiting to see. You're going to need a different specialist, and you get to start the whole thing all over again. So is the chat just slow because we're read it right? Is the chat just slow because we're Americans? That's racist. Yeah, it's all you Americans. You're slowing down the chat. You're taking away IQ points over here. Bobby, and now your big brag is drinking from garden hoses and going home when the lights were off. No, that's not our big brag. We had a fuck ton of fun. None of us thought we were going to live. None of us thought we were actually going to survive past the fun age. So we had fun. There was nothing we could do. The world was fucked. So we might as well enjoy what we could. And we did an awful lot. And AP saying, no, that's Gen Z, not millennials. All right, fair enough. Maybe I am attributing more to the millennials than I should. SH. Also, God made dirt and dirt don't hurt. That's true. Oh man, it's been ages since I heard that one. Holy Hannah, now I am feeling old. Not only were you a loser, you were crowned. Yes, you were crowned on for losing. Yes, we were not kind to those that lost in games. Um, we were not kind in general. We were hurtful and mean to each other for fun, and it was fun. So we're a fuck ton tougher uh, than the ensuing generations, just because we were so tough on each other, on ourselves even. We punished the heck out of ourselves, and we lived as hard as we could, because none of us really expected to survive. I don't think. I know me and none of my friends, we never expected to survive. Like I said, I was aiming for the 27 club. Um, and yeah, in the late 90s, none of us really expected to get past 2000 or even into 2000. So, you know, Bobby's saying, and the weird part is millennials also drank from garden hoses and had to go home when the streetlights came on. So it's not even a proper brag. Well, that's why I'm saying it's more a participation trophy. Is that's a better a better line to separate the two generations. Um, when hurt fifis were just as bad or worse than broken bones. Um, and when everyone got an award for just for being there, that's when the millennial generation really started, in my opinion. I think that would be a better delineation of what is the beginning of the millennials. Because my little brother sure shit was not a millennial, but they consider him one. Mr. Q, we are encyclopedia sets, not Yahoo. There you go. Yes, encyclopedia sets and dictionaries and thesauruses. We had to go look it up, and it was books. We had to go look for the book and figure it out ourselves. Bobby says, Digger, look around. My generation chops off their genitals pretending to be things they're not. We are imagination. No, you are insanity. There's a difference. You're not imagining these things. People have told you to that this is a good thing and this is the way you feel, and that you have to do this to be the person you were meant to be. That's insanity. That's not imagination. There you go, Mr. Q. My porn was a Sears catalog. No downloads of 16 pic. I remember my buddies would download download porn pictures, and it would take for freaking ever as it slowly came in line by line. But they would download them in advance and put them into this program that spun them around, so you couldn't tell what the picture was. It was one of those, magic eye things, or yeah, just ridiculous. It made it so pixelated and spinny, and you couldn't tell what you were looking at. And then they'd suddenly hit the pause button or the stop button, and the picture would form. And suddenly I'm looking at things I never needed to look at, and I never wanted to look at. Um, that was pretty awful. That was really awful. I kind of like to harken back to the days of you know, yeah, mom's catalogs and the Red Shoe Diaries. Red Shoe Diaries and Harlequin romance novels. That's how I learned about sex and romance. That's why I'm so messed in the head. I thought when you had sex, you really did see fireworks, and you really did feel amazing, out of body experiences. I thought that, love was the romance described in Harlequin romance novel, and it isn't. It's nowhere near like that. It's a lot of hard work, um, fun times, but it's hard times too. I had no idea. So when I started having relationships. I was in for a very rude awakening. It was not fun. SH is saying, my mom got a computer that you used a TV for a monitor and a cassette player around the programs or software. Very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, like I said, my dad, the only reason we had a PC in the house is because the company he worked for bought a PC when they first came out. They bought a PC for every employee they had. We were the cool family because we had a computer. I could play Oregon Trail at home. Dom saying, Digger, you had an imagination to play with. Oh, I already read that one. Sorry. I grew up in between a town called Bluegrass and another town called Nimrod. That's kind of cool, actually. You played hockey. You played hacky sacks unironically. Tough my ass. Fuck you, Bobby. We played wallables and shotables. Damn it. We were tough. Fuck you, Bobby. SH is saying, I've seen Nimrod on the map. Never been there. I'm pretty sure there's a Nimrod either here or in Alberta. I'm sure I've seen it before. Oh, here goes Sweets making the big jump. Way to go, sweetie. Good girl. They're really good at playing the floor is lava. The floor is lava. They've got most of the track covered, so they don't have to touch the floor if they don't want to. I'm hiding, but there's a third, so they can hop from the table to the red thing and then onto the 2 footstools and the rocking chair back to the couch. Bobby's saying lawn darts. This is America. We got guns. Yeah. Guns ain't got nothing on a bunch of kids under 10 playing lawn darts. I'm sorry. MJ saying, I have W-2 forms since I turned 11. There you go. I've got my first ever official paycheck because, of course, I was working beforehand. But the first official paycheck from my first official job that I actually needed a SIN card from. That's how you knew it was an official job. If you needed your SIN card, that's what did it. And I have that. I still have the check thing from when I was 12. I got hired on at the. I got carried on or hired on at the golf and country club that my mom worked at. I ran the daycare out of one of those little portables, and I had my own working float. I think the whole float was maybe $15. I was so proud of myself. But the government took my they took taxes off my paycheck from that point on, and yet I was not legally allowed to do stuff like vote or drink or smoke until I was 19, and I always thought that was unfair. Oh, Mr. Q is saying Nimrod is the best small town in Minnesota. Cool. AP says Gen Z is soft. Yeah. It's creamery. But Bobby says, well, I'm hard. You may have meant it a different way, but I'm taking it the naughty way. Bobby's saying, if anything, millennials are among the hardest. I doubt that. I doubt that. It's a village population of 69. Did they do that on purpose? Is there like a population cap or something? Bobby, in fact, we're too hard. We should be less hard. Oh my goodness, Bobby. Oh, that's why we're friends. You crack me up. I love you. Ladies saying Gen Alpha just ended December 31st, 2020. They ended. Holy shit. Is it me or is generations getting shorter too? Like I thought generation was 40-year space, but suddenly these generations are coming closer and closer together. Um, how are we already finished Gen Alpha? It doesn't make any sense to me. Mr. Q says, I disagree, Bobby. How much damage have you done to your body without complaining to it? I can't even find in your age grades that knows how to work. Oh, I can't even find anyone your age that knows how to work. Okay. Meow. Uh-oh. Hi, sweets. Hi. SH is saying that's why I said that late Gen X have more in common with older millennials than with the older Gen X. Exactly. Yeah. Mr. Q is walking it back a little. He says there's a few, but they're already working, which is true. SH is saying, I didn't have cable, but I knew of it. We did have cable, but the only reason we had cable is because my parents signed up to do the the surveys and to keep track of what we watched and why we watched it and whether we enjoyed it and that sort of thing. So we got the cable box for free as long as we kept that book filled in. Mr. Q says, I had a good father. He taught me how to screw over the phone company, the cable company, and any government service. That is a good father. That is a damn good father. Teaching you the things you need to know for life. AP says, I couldn't come up with a good comeback. I told a friend of mine, you win the comeback game. Fuck you. Or to win the comeback game. Fuck you. I hope your plane crashes as it's landing. Get a flight to Florida the next day. Laughed our asses off. See? Well, that's exactly it. We were so dark. We were so dark. We were making it light again. And Linda's saying we were out in the country, so we didn't have cable. Yeah. Lady's saying my 5-year-old twins are Gen Alpha. My oldest is a millennial, and my first set of twins are Gen Z. Holy Hannah. I know this, but it still surprises me. That's quite the spread of children in age. I mean, that's lovely. That's what I wanted. I wanted a whole raft of kids. I wanted 4 boys and a little girl, ideally. Steal this book or a different one? I know. I don't know about you. I wasn't stealing books when I was going through my shoplifting phase. It was not books I was stealing. Mr. Q says I got away with so much stuff on my taxes. Been audited twice, but I've only had to pay $400 both times. Well, that's because you're not getting away with stuff. You know the tricks. That's how Trump does it. He's like, I'm not getting away with anything. I just know what the tricks are and to use them. And he's right. It's not his fault. There's, issues in the system, and no one should blame him for, putting him to work for him. We all would if we could. MJ, did anybody go to Woodstock? I'm too young for that one. Unfortunately, but I spent the first part of my life wishing I'd been born in the 60s so I could have been a hippie. I thought it was just the coolest thing going. Me. AP says millennials were there for all the newest tech creation, CDs, MP3, AOL, DSL, internet, etc. The largest expansion in tech in history is the millennials. Yeah, that's for sure. And SH is saying, my dad knew a lot, but he only shared a little with me. He liked being the provider, protector. Yeah, it's interesting. My dad didn't necessarily show me how to do things, but he is to this day, although he's getting old, and my stepbrother's kind of stepping into the position more and more. But he was the family handyman. If you needed something done, you called him, and he would come over and he would do whatever it was that needed done. Electrical, plumbing, building, you name it, he could do it. But he never taught us. He just went and got it done. My stepdad taught me a whole shit ton of stuff. I had a lot of fun when I was living with them for a bit. He taught me all sorts of stuff, and he let me play with the big tools, skill saws, and all sorts of fun things. There's the wild. Okay, I did say hi to you when you came in. I had to close that thing so that I wouldn't be so jerky anymore. But I did see you when you came in. Oh, there you go. Mr. Q is saying his brother went to Woodstock's 30-year anniversary. So that's kind of there. Wild says, well, I'll run. Oh, yeah. Glad you aren't dying. Yep. MJ, good question too. When I say Woodstock, how many say what's that? Who wasn't born during Woodstock? Yeah. I wasn't born yet. Oh, and Linda, see, I do know this. Woodstock is Snoopy Bird's friend. Snoopy's bird friend. They went out and listened to a bunch of rock groups. We were warned about the bad acid and left the place a mess. That's awesome. That's awesome. Mr. Q says, no, it goes like this. You have to carry both of your older sisters, one on each of your shoulders, uphill, barefoot, 3 feet of snow against wind, 18 miles. Okay, there you go. You had it rougher than my mom did. She didn't have to carry anyone. Oh, okay. Or at least that's what I tell people that call me old. Fair enough. Lady Autumn Sky, and they did sell out. Damn sellouts are all around. I know, right? That recent time in history that we aren't allowed to mention, it showed a lot of people's true colors. A whole lot of people's true colors. It was wild and disappointing. Like I said the other day, I was really saddened to see Michael J. Fox took the presidential award for whatever from Biden, because that just shows where his alliance actually is, because they don't give awards to people that aren't on the team, right? So that was the latest of my heroes to fall off their pedestal, but a shit ton of them fell during COVID. Yeah, AP, Rage Against the Machine sold out their first record and they signed a deal. Been corporate asshats ever since. Exactly. And MJ, if I would have known I was going to live this long, I know, I would have done things a lot differently. Mr. Q, I was the same way back then, 27 Club. Yeah, I truly thought I'd be gone by 26 as a SH. Well, that's exactly it. I don't think many of us in our age range, because we're all basically the same, within 2-3 years of each other. But yeah, I don't think anyone in our age group ever even considered living to make it to 30. It just wasn't a thing. There was no point because shit's all fucked and there's nothing we could do to fix it. And then we did live past that. And then we had to grow old and go, shit. But the good news of that is that now we have a chance and we potentially can fix it. I think there might be one person on chat older than me, says MJ. I think you two are pretty close. Wild. The Koof hysteria changed everything. I see the world differently now. There's very few people who are strong enough to resist brainwashing and the threats to your ability to exist. Exactly. I am very, very thankful that I moved up here all those years ago, because it's very different mindsets up here. The coast is so liberal, it's scary. And I lost a lot of friends. I literally had a friend who was so mad at me for posting alternative ideas on my Facebook page that he ended a friendship that we had had since we met in grade 4. Um, all over the ridiculousness. We'd known each other since grade 4, since 87, and he wrote off the entire friendship. He's the one that I went to grad with. My grad date canceled last minute, and I ended up going to grad with him and had a freaking blast. But yeah, he'd always been in my life, but he ended it all. He wrote me off. So I haven't talked to a lot of my friends on the coast since that whole thing started. And especially since he ended our friendship, because I don't want to lose any more friendships. Another person that I've known for decades, we catch up once or twice a year. Last time we did a catch up, he hung up on me because I said that Trump had the right idea, and we haven't spoken since. It's wild just how insulated and liberal the Lower Mainland is. It's insane, and I'm so glad that I've made it out when I did, so that I'm not infected with the liberal woke mindset. How scary would that be? Holy Hannah. Well, I missed it. What did she say? Oh, I can't find it now. Oh, darn. Okay. Oh, okay. No. I know what you're talking about. Okay. So Dom is telling Wild that it was always, the world was always the way we see it now. It's just that people didn't see it at the time. And yeah, the blinders, I think that's the big thing that the COOF did, is it took the blinders off a lot of sheeple. A lot of sheeple. I mean, I was surprised at some of the stuff that I was learning about. And I would consider myself one of the least woke people around. But there were things that actually that surprised me over all of that stuff. Lumpy gas in a vacuum. Good to meet you. Welcome. Would you like to ask questions of an actual flat earther? No. I'm sorry. If you think the earth is flat, good on you. I don't, but who cares? I don't know. Do you think you can actually sail on a boat and fall off the edge? Is that a thing? How does flat earthers actually, how do you think it works? Dumb. 49% of the population is below average intelligence. Fair enough. Jeff Hyatt. Hi, are you a Nancy Griffith singer fan? Nancy Griffith. I do not know who that is. So I cannot be a fan. I'm sorry. Yes, Linda. Linda and MJ. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. You two are pretty darn close in age. I'd say within a few years, if it's my guess. Yeah, it was wow, that's exactly it. It was just how easily people caved and submitted to it all. Just how quickly it went from do it for grandma and do it for the kids, to do it for a buck or two, do it for a free donut, do it for a free burger, do it or we'll take your job, do it or you can't grocery shop, do it or else. And it happened in such a short span. It couldn't help but wake people up, not make them woke, but wake people up to the reality that is the world and how it works. So Dom's saying, so about 62% of the population is either stupid or crazy or both, and the rest of us allow them to vote. Pretty much. Pretty much. Who do we think is going to win the elections? Exactly. Yeah, the dumb idiots. Although this time, you guys got, you've got a 4-year reprieve. You guys got to think and decide now who you're going to put in after Trump. Because because he can only do so much in 4 years if he makes it to that point. I am still uncertain on whether he's going to be able to actually put his feet in the White House as president again. I have said all along that I don't think they can allow him to exist to take that position again. And we're getting right up to that point now. I don't think he's going to make it. But if he does, he's only got 4 years. And who are you going to put in his place in 4 years' time? I have no idea who would be going in next. But you guys had better figure that stuff out like right fast, because you only got 4 years. And otherwise, your Dems are going to just take it on up again. Or it'll be passed on to the Republicans, who are not really Republicans. They are liberal in all but name. And then you'll be right back to where you started. Yeah, it takes a lot to get me upset. This is AP when it comes to the coof shit. Linda's agreeing. It puts everything in perspective. The Thesaurus is the ancient creature of language. Is that why it's a thesaurus? I did not know that. Some people say getting old sucks. Most time it beats the alternative. True that. True that, MJ. Oh, Cynthia didn't get notified of the stream. Gosh darn it. YouTube, dropping the ball. How you doing, Cynthia? SH, yes, we had girl prawn and it sold us a lie. It did. It did. My grandma had an entire wall bookshelf full of Harlequin romances and Danielle Steele novels. And I read them all when we were, staying with her for the summer, because I was bored. And so I read grandma's books and she never said not to. And so I did. And I was sold a false bill of goods. It was not at all what I was told it was going to be. And in comparison, the real thing just was kind of shit. Because it had been built up so much in my brain that in comparison, it was like, oh, that's it? Really? That's it? Ruined the whole deal for me. And then it ruined my taste in men, because I kept picking men that reminded me of men in the Harlequin romances. But I was too young to realize that the men that I'm picking weren't men yet. It would be a long time before they ended up being the men at the end of a Harlequin romance. So I chose a lot of wrong boys. I missed something. I missed something. Oh. Mr. Q, I will do that, Mr. Q. Oh, Mr. Q says, Linda, say hi to your daughter for me because they're the same age. He's just kidding. But she says she'll do that. And then where is it here? Mr. Q comes in. Linda, actually, if you do the right drugs and have the right sex with somebody that you're super emotionally attached to, it is awesome. I guess it could be. But yeah, I don't know. I see, and that's the thing too. When I started having sex, I was also doing hard drugs. So that puts a whole nother, kink in the play, so to speak. Wild. Most of the time it's like, dang, I gotta dust the ceiling fan over the bed. And that's really what it's like in comparison to what we were told to expect. It's oh man. Mr. Q says Nimrod is from the Bible. He was a great hunter and gatherer. He was in the very first couple of chapters of Genesis 1 of Adam and Eve's kids. Yeah. MJ says Nimrod was a bad seed. I can't remember. I know that there's two ways of thought on Nimrod. But I don't know enough to decide. Oh, I gotta turn that one off. Lawn darts. I played a game called Tough Chicken. We would shoot an arrow straight up in the air, and the last one to run was the winner. We didn't have a name for it, but we do that too. Not necessarily just an arrow, but with anything, a handful of rocks, sticks. Lawn darts, damn it, my hand isn't working when I type, for fuck's sakes. That's okay. The way all of us are getting these days, and autocorrect, all of us type badly now. It's just forced. I get the impression that Rumble chat is not on the radar. I had to close the bubble because my camera started doing the robot. I get the Rumble chats in the StreamYard, but it doesn't show me any Rumble rants or anything. But I did see the one for $5 at the beginning, and I read it out. So hopefully that's the one you're talking about. I had to close everything else out. Cynthia says, I used to work for Channel 4 back in the old days. I used to sit and watch TV for 4 hours at the time, 2 shifts. We had to log what was coming on the channel, including the commercials. Okay, I've heard of people doing that sort of a job. You had to sit there and actually watch and log everything. And Cynthia says, I didn't go to Woodstock, but I dressed like one. Me too. I literally, I should find some pictures. I was the perfect mashup of goth and grunge. Or sorry, not goth and grunge, of hippie and grunge. I wore my bell bottoms, I had my tie-dyes, but I had my oversized holy sweaters and corduroys, and yeah, I smashed grunge and hippie fashion together really, really well, if I do say so myself. I had one of my dad's old militia jackets. It was navy blue, fitted with the little pearlite or pearlized buttons, snap buttons, not real buttons. They were snaps. So love that stuff. My hair has always been long, except in my grade 12 year. I I went to private school for grade 10 and 11. But then my private school screwed me out of my credits. I tried to graduate in my grade 11 year. I did all the extra grade 12 credits so that I could graduate early with a friend of mine. But they screwed me out of credits. And I said, well, fuck you. If you're not giving me those credits and you're forcing me to retake the classes that I've already taken and aced, I'm going back to public school. And that's what I did. I went back to public school. All I had to take was English 12, or sorry, yeah, English 12, because I took English 12 first semester, English 11 second semester. And they said because I took English 12 before English 11, they couldn't give me the grade 12 credits. Pissed me right off. So I went back, and all I had to do for an entire year of school was English 12. And I loaded up on every single fun course you could think of, anything that had to do with art, anything that had to do with music, instruments, or singing. I was in all of the acting classes. I tutored acting classes. I was in film and script writing class, which was a specialty class that I shouldn't have been able to get into, but the teacher was kind and let me into it anyways. I had all sorts of fun. I didn't have to worry about skipping class because it didn't matter anyways. If I came into class stoned, it didn't matter because it was just, it was art or drama or something stupid, right? It really didn't matter. And I didn't start doing drugs until grade 12. I did not touch any drugs at all until grade 12. And that was probably halfway through the first semester before I even smoked my first joint. I was a drinker. I started drinking and smoking cigarettes at the age of 12. So I didn't need drugs until I was 16. SH is saying my dad often told me I was born too late. Not like they had me too late, but I should have been around 15, 20 years earlier. That's the same with me. I would have done brilliantly as a kid in the 60s, as a teenager in the 60s. Cynthia saying bell bottoms, long hair down to my waist. And yes, I wore a mini skirt and go-go boots. Yes. I never wore a mini skirt because I always thought I was, fat. My mom had me certain that I was fat, stupid, and ugly. That was kind of what got ingrained in my head. So I never wore anything to show off the body. But I had a shit ton of bell bottoms and wide leg jeans and the Raver jeans. The step before the Janko jean, that was my age group. We had the wide legs, not the Janko jean, but the wide legs. I had a few pairs of them. Mr. Q says, oh, I forgot the part where it was both ways against the wind that you had to carry your sisters because they were also barefoot and they couldn't get their dresses wet and you had dirt floors and you could only eat beans and pork. Yeah, you forgot a lot on that story, Mr. Q. I'm glad you remembered. MJ saying Volkswagen vans, peace signs. I think it goes downhill from there. Signs of the 60s. Yeah. I think that's when the first sets of blinders were being taken off the eyes of the younger generation. Mr. Q says, and you ran out of that and ate lard sandwiches. AP says they're not your real friends then. I don't know what you're talking about. I think I've gotten a little bit behind. 58, no, 48. Okay, I'm a little behind, but not too bad. Okay. So I don't know what you're talking about with they are not your real friends. You'll have to remind me what I said. Because that's my memory. SH says, I didn't lie to my family about the event, but I just didn't say anything to avoid the arguing. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, now I know what you're talking about, AP. Yeah, because we're talking about the coof and my friends that wrote me off. Yeah, I know. And it really sucked to find that out the hard way. It was bad enough to find out a lot of, celebrities that I tried to emulate were actually lying turncoats who will do whatever and say whatever for money. That was hard enough. But then when I lost a couple of friends, that was really, really hard. Losing those two guys was a serious kick to the balls that I don't have. But yeah, after losing them, I just, like I said, I stopped calling anyone because if I don't call them, we can't have a difference of opinion and they can't end up being the jerks that those two were, Don says a flat earther is like a vegan. They're going to tell you they are. Yep. And MJ, thank you, MJ. Did you hit the like button? Yes, you. If you're reading this, did you hit the like button? Please hit the like button or the thumbs. I don't know. Is it still a like button in Rumble? I know Ricada had a term for it at one point, and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, either which way, please hit that little thumbs up, guy. I appreciate it. Follow or subscribe too if you want to keep doing this. Because this is always fun, right? We've been doing this for 2 hours, 5 minutes now. I'd say we're having a good time. AP, ooh, strong words. AP is saying he'll make it in the White House. You think so? You think he's going to make it? We're getting right down to the wire, but I still don't think they're going to let him do it. Either he's off during the inauguration or before he's actually is able to put pen to paper for anything. I don't think they can let him do it because he's going off script. He's going against what his own puppet masters are telling him to say and do. So even the people who control him can't afford to let him in. So we'll see. I mean, we've got yeah, AP, you know them. You know them. You were in Mighty's Discord, right? Um dear friend of mine, Mighty Meat, the mightiest of the meats. He stopped streaming for a bit. He kind of got his own kick in the balls from Rumble. They yoinked his live stream midstream because he was talking about a certain race of people who tend to have larger noses. And he wasn't even saying anything bad, but they yoinked his stream right in the middle of it. So he got burned and he's not streaming anymore. I hope he'll come back. We were doing a series called The Mystery Babylon that I was thoroughly enjoying. But but before any of that happens, he made a bet with another friend of ours on his Discord server. If he is right, and he agrees with me, he doesn't think Trump is going to be able. He doesn't think Trump will make it into the White House. He thinks Trump will be X'd out before that happens. So if he is right, if I am right, and he doesn't make it into the White House, then Mighty gets to kick this person off the Discord server. However, if Trump does get inaugurated and does make it into the White House, like actually steps foot into the White House as president again, Mighty has to get a plane ticket to wherever this friend of ours lives in the country and give him a blowjob and then fly back home. And that's the bet. I think it was a ridiculously stupid bet to make. Even though I agree with Mighty, I don't think Trump's going to be able to actually walk into the White House again. I don't think it'll happen. But even so, I never would have made a bet like that. But that's what Mighty does. Mighty, go big or go home. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a win-win situation for me, whether he makes it or not, because if he doesn't make it in, I was right. But if he does make it in, sure, I was wrong. But now we get to laugh at Mighty, who has to shell out money and a blowjob. So, win-win for me. Lady saying VP usually runs if the president can't run again. Yes, that's true. And one of the theories is that they'll let him get into office just long enough to take him out and put JD in the presidential seats. And I guess that's a possibility too. They're all possibilities. I don't know, or rather, I am only just learning about JD. I've got some friends, one friend in particular, who Peggy, who's given me some great leads to go through. But it sounds like he works for a different global faction than Trump does. So it'll be interesting to see if they do that, if they let him in and then knock him off and put JP in charge, or JD in charge instead. That'll be interesting to see. SH is saying, I think they're fine with letting him in office because they've screwed up everything so badly. Then they'll try to blame it on Trump in 4 years when they run a new candidate. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's worked for them thus far, right? They've been blaming all of Biden's term has been blamed on Trump. And the stuff that's happening right now is being blamed on Trump. And he still hasn't, it's very likely you are correct, SH. They're just going to let him have it. They screwed up everything badly enough that he can't do too much damage to their plan in 4 lousy years, which is true. Really, how much can one man do in 4 years? Cynthia's asking, does anybody remember Playgirl magazine? My girlfriend collected them and she wallpapered the bathroom with all the dick pics. I knew such thing existed. I'd never seen one. Kim Trell is saying it's 8:58. I'm watching you read comments from over 10 minutes ago. So that was at 5:59 my time and at 6:11 my time. So I am catching. I'm about the same. That's okay, Kim. You should see me when I'm on with my co-host Shenny when we do our weekend streams. Our average is 37 minutes behind in the chat, and we end up having the same conversation 3 or 4 times. And it's fun every time. Oh, Linda remembers Playgirl. Oh, and her mom was given a deck of Chippendale playing cards as a joke. She gave them to Linda. They had pictures of real men with hair on their chests. Real men. That's right. Oh my. Thank you, Dom. I knew there was a term for it. It used to be called the plushie in Rumble. That's right. You could touch the plushie or pet the plushie. I remember. Just don't leave the plushie wet. That's the thing. Cynthia is saying a true friend is someone who accepts you for who you are and who you are not. If you should be able to tell each other to fuck off and still be friends. That's how you find out what true friends are. Exactly. That's totally true. But I got burned. The 2 friends that wrote me off for my opinions were 2 buddies. Like I said, the one guy I knew since grade 4. So we've known each other for a long freaking time, but they were very dear, close friends. And the fact that they were willing to write off that friendship over nothing, over a difference of opinion, that scared me enough that I won't talk to any of my other friends. Because I live in my family's world. If something bad happened, you put it in a box, you tie it up real tight, chuck it in the back, and you forget it ever happened. Easy peasy. So if I just don't ever talk to my friends again, then we can't have that difference of opinion, and I can't find out if they're a true friend or if they're going to break my heart like these 2 guys did. So I just don't. And it's easy. I can call and say Merry Christmas, and that's it. And in fact, I don't call and say Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday anymore. I just send texts because it's safer that way. If you don't speak, you can't say something that'll make them write you off. I know that's an awful way to go about things, but I don't want to lose any more childhood friends over the coof. I'm tired of it. So I'd rather not. And Cynthia agrees with me, and Mighty Trump will not be walking down Pennsylvania Avenue this time. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Oh, Mr. Q. I wanted to pose for Playgirl when I was younger, but I couldn't afford to make it to LA. I think the world missed out because of it. I think they did too. Oh, and Linda, I miss Mighty Meat. I do too. I really do too. He did come on to my Monday chat with friends. I think it was the first one I did with friends, and he came on and he says he's getting ready to stream some more. And so he told me that I don't need to find someone to finish the Mystery Babylon with. He's getting to the point where he'll be able to stream again, which is brilliant because I would much rather finish with the guy who brought me than try and find someone else. It's a whole different dynamic. Mighty and I have learned all of this together so far. We've had some really awesome conversations. I don't want you going back there. Come on. Thank you. Sorry, Cat was trying to get behind the TV. There was a barrier. Apparently they knocked it over. Thank you. No. Okay. Thank you. Anyways, yes, I miss him too, but he said he'd be willing to come back. Eventually he'll come back and we can finish the Mystery Babylon. And I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. Doc the Butcher says there will be war if he can't or is not allowed in. I think that's what they're hoping for. Your government needs you guys to strike first, and then they can clamp down on the civil unrest, and that'll give them the excuse they want in order to lock this down and set up the globalist agenda. They need you guys to rise up against them. So you guys have got to hold tight and wait until the government strikes first. And then that's it. If they strike first, it doesn't matter how long that war is going to last. You guys, the civilians, the Constitution will win in the end. But you've got to wait and let the government strike first, in my opinion. AP, better get that jaw ready, Mighty. Well, I'm sure he's getting a little uncomfortable. It's getting really close. I didn't expect him to get this close. I really didn't. I thought for sure he'd be done by Jan 6, roughly. I really didn't expect him to still be around right now, which is wonderful. But yeah, I think Mighty might be starting to sweat a little bit, just a little bit. And yes, Tom, that is entertainment. That's damn good entertainment. I'm not dumb enough to make a bet like that, but he is, and he did, and I'm here for it. Oh, wild. There's another take. Trump will make it. What'll be disappointing is he won't go scorched earth on them. And that's possible too. He said the last time he didn't drain the swamp because he had too many members of the swamp on his team that he didn't know about. So that's why he thinks he can drain the swamp this time around. Although he's not even. Have you noticed? Like that's not his thing. Taking out the dirty politicians, the dirty actors. That's not really a part of the platform. So I found that interesting. Dom is tending to agree with Wild. He'll make it, but he's just not going to do what everyone thinks he's going to do. Linda's saying there are people in churches all over the world praying for his safety. The same people praying he would win the election. I'm pretty sure he'll survive the inauguration and the 4 years. Well, if you're right, Linda, if you're right, that's great because 4 years of Trump is better than anything else. I don't think he's a miracle worker. I don't think he's going to be able to fix it and drain the swamp and this, that, and the other thing. But he's a hell of a lot better than any option out there. He's the only one that doesn't want to start wars, So there's that going for him too. And hopefully their prayers will keep him safe and allow him to do some damage to the agenda. I've been studying the globalist agenda and the New World Order and the factions around the world that actually control the world. I've been studying and looking into it so long now. I'm jaded. I'm really jaded. I don't think they can afford to let him in because he's going against his own paymasters now. So Dom's saying he's going to give Trump a year. If there's no obvious results by then, I'll go against MAGA just as hard as I have ever been against Democrats. Fair enough. Mr. Q. Linda, real men have hair on their chest. Good women love a treasure trail and fuzzy chest. At least I know more than one that does. And we're speaking to a man who does have a fuzzy chest and treasure trail. Blah. My mouth is not working. Hard to finish with someone else halfway through, messes up the rhythm. Thank you for that, AP. I'm glad that you're glad to hear that. I think of them when I watch a rocket launch as well. Yeah. Oh, and I'm always praying for all you kids. Yeah. But I'm really hopeful that it'll be sooner rather than later because, yeah, my mom taught me right. She taught me you leave the dance with the boy that brought you. And damn it, we started this thing. I would prefer to finish this thing with him too. And I miss my daily dose of Mighty. That was fun. I really miss that shit. It's the only person I ever actually did moddy things for. I've been mod for other people, but he's the only person I ever actually did moddy things for. I actually had a Word document set up just with all his special links and stuff. That's how mod of a mod I was for him. It's wild. I don't put that much effort into doing stuff for my own channel. So yeah, I can't wait to get me some daily Mighty back. Even if it's not daily. If I could get a dose of Mighty once a week again, that would make life a lot easier. even if it's a mighty that I know has done evil, wicked things to another friend of mine. Even then, I would look with a little bit of shame, maybe a bit of embarrassment for him, but I would still look. I would still watch him, still watch the show. Yeah, EP. He ain't going to clamp down anything. That will be a big mistake. Many people like me with nothing to lose. That's the truth. Bobby's saying Mighty's jaw is always ready. Well, that's what he likes to say. So we'll see. We'll find out. Is he all talk or not? Oh, Dom. Oh, I got to move it a bit. There we go. Now I can highlight it. You think we will be keeping the Constitution? You silly girl. I know. I know. That's the thing. Um, that's why I think Trump is pissing off, or that's why I say that I think Trump is pissing off his paymasters, because he's at the end of his life. He's feeling mortality, and he wants to leave a better legacy. I think he sees that the New World Order, the globalist agenda, there's no getting away from it at this point. So I think he's wanting to put as much of the Constitution into the framework that will build the globalist agenda. I think he's trying to inflict as much of the Constitution in there as he possibly can, and they don't like it. I don't think they can stand for that. Oh, AP, you know what we meant. We all understood what Mighty meant by stepping foot in the White House. You know, we meant that he'd have to be inaugurated and walk in as president. AP Biden has pardoned everyone. Yeah. Yeah. And how many people did he pardon on the down low too? Right? He doesn't have to tell us all about who he's pardoning and why. Ah, that could be true, Linda. He's not talking about getting everyone because he doesn't want Biden to pardon everyone. Or at least that's what you're hoping. Fair enough. That could be cool. I would appreciate that too. Demon says, left you a little something in Meaty's Discord in the Canada channel. Thank you, Demon's Wrath. I will go check that out after the stream, because I had to shut everything else down so that my computer would, or my camera rather, would stop doing the robot. Oh, Maudie things. I know, right? I know. I've had a few wrenches, but he's the only one I actually, dropped links for and shit. He's the only one I announced on the Discord servers I'm a part of. It was, yeah, Mighty special to me. He's a good friend. I'll do the worst things. I'll do the dirtiest things. I'll do the Maudie things for him. Yeah. I misread that, Linda. I misread the naked chest comment, and it's just as funny in the misreading as the reading. BPW74, hello. Do you think you could beat up a shark in a street fight? Heck no. Heck no. I'm a freaking wimp. I couldn't even beat myself up in a fist fight. Mr. Q says Trump has to be president for at least a year and a half for JD Vance to be able to serve 2 terms as president after he takes over for Trump. Okay. AP's asking, do we know if Mighty has a dentist appointment the day after? Dentist will be able to confer. Oh, no. Oh, that's awful. The picture that you just built in my brain. AP. That's not nice. I thought you were my friend. Holy shit. The dentist will be able to confirm if the deed was done. That's awful. That's awful. Holy Hannah. Oh. Oh. AP. You know what? You killed me with that one, AP. Fuck you. The poor dentist. Well, I'm pretty much caught up with chat. Demon's Wrath is kind of lazy today and can't use gamer words in YouTube. That's why I have the Rumble too. Dom says I give grunts for grins. And Bobby finishes it off with scraping the jizz off his enamel. You guys are freaking awful. Holy fuck, I love you guys. Thank you for that. Thank you for that so much. Oh, that mental image. On that note, I'm going to let you guys go. This has been a fun chat. 2.5 hours. And I've been giggling the entire time. So thank you guys so very much for that. Tomorrow morning, we will be reading chapter 2 of The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. We will read that. I'll be starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. Gosh, you got me crying with that one. That's awesome. 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 2 for you Easterners, and you people in Central, you can do the maths yourself. And until tomorrow morning, I will talk to you next time. Bye, kids.
She's a curious look, always digging for the truth, searching in the night, youthful heart at proof. With her shovel in hand, she roams the universe, exploring every land, no map, no reverse. Oh, dig a 420, curious Canuck, answers on your mind, never getting stuck. Waves of stars through the cosmic sea, finding who we are in the galaxy. She's got questions to ask and a fire that won't die, unraveling each task under the sky. Oh, dig a 420, curious Canuck, answers on your mind, never getting stuck. Sea, finding who we are in the galaxy. She's got questions to ask and a fire that won't die, unraveling each task under the sky. Oh, dig a 420, curious Canuck, answers on your mind, never getting stuck.
Because, you know.